Hey guys, this is Caspi with Tape, and today you join me on the deck of a space cruiser. A space cruiser sent to me for subscriber designs. But oh wait! Something has just hit us. What the hell is going on? We were just hanging out in our conference room, and the back of our ship has taken a missile. What could that have been from? There must be something lurking over there. Another battleship, perhaps. It looks as if a portion of our ship is depressurized, and we're going to have to fight back. So, let's turn ourselves around, ready our weapons, quit our grinning, drop our linens, and try and fight back against this enemy ship. So we deploy ourselves a missile, try and line it up, although apparently this has no SAS module, so it's going to be a gimbal affair. This could be difficult. We're clearly not prepared for a battle right now. A cruiser may imply naval ship, but we were just cruising around, y'all. Anyway, let's get some fire back on this. So yes, if you haven't figured it out by now, I've been sent 2 space battleships for subscribe designs, and I thought this would be a fun way to start it. Anyway, I'm lining up my shot now, trying to just get the prograde marker on as much as I can with such limited control, and it looks as if I will hit this ship. However, it appears I was actually targeting a missile that misfired and not the ship, and I come obscenely close to the missile. Definitely would have hit it if it were a spaceship, but actually miss and fly by the ship, and I'm very upset that I didn't hit it with this missile, however, because that was quite a good shot, actually. Anyway, this battleship, this mysterious ship, is having none of it, fires another salvo of its extremely fast missiles, and hits our cruiser. Well, our crew hopefully are still alive in the conference room. I actually didn't check, but hopefully. Anyway, we must return fire. Again, hopefully with another missile, although it looks like our missile bay has been dislodged, and we can't fire the missile. So, it looks as if we're going to have to go ham. We're going to have to go right at that ship, ready our chain guns, because not only does this have stock weapons, it has some BD armory. It's got howitzers, it's got chain guns, although one of the howitzers was ripped off by the last missile. You could go back and see it floating away if you wanted to. Anyway, we fire up our engines, get moving towards this mysterious battleship. Line up our M20 chain guns and open fire, but the battleship is having none of this, fires another salvo, and they're so fast they actually managed to hit a moving target. Quite an impressive ship. We'll take a better look at it later, don't worry. This takes some fire, but it's actually alive and well. Very impressive, I have to say, for such a non-metal filled ship. It's all wing surfaces. So we pull our engines up to maximum, pray that the enemy ship is out of missiles, and start lighting it up with our chain guns. There we go. Bullets always look weird in space, but because BD armor isn't really made for space. But anyway, now it is time to end the battle. In this, we can see we've got our first shots on. There's a nice explosion there. Hopefully the ship is dead. And we'll cruise in cinematically, firing our guns gloriously, bravely, against all odds, because this actually looks to be a superior battleship to our pretty little cruiser. But yes, it looks like we have taken it down now. We're still firing. We'll fly past and get a better look and see what's happened. But it looks like the ship is in multiple pieces. But we're not going to stop firing because we're quite mad that it depressurized the top section of our ship. There was actually a Kerbal in there. Let's hope he had his helmet on. But yes, we rip it apart now. We fly past and we can see the remains of this battleship. And it is truly dead. But anyway, yes, after this fun little opening, let's go and take a look at these 2 ships now, because they're actually both really cool in different ways. And clearly a lot of effort has gone into both of them, and yeah, I had fun with this. So yes, anyway, let's jump over to live commentary me now to take a look at the cruiser first. So yes, you just saw the battle between the cruiser and the other ship, which I'll get to later. Yeah, I thought it would be fun since I was sent 2 armed vessels to start with a bit of a battle, and the ship you saw first, the little space cruiser we're currently flying towards now, had a really nice internal like deck and thing, so I thought it would be cool to, yeah. Anyway, so yes, we're just moving into the ship now with our little Kerbal, what's his name, Ronfen Kerman, and we're going to go take a look at this in depth, not just watch it slaughter. Actually, I didn't think it would win that battle, but it did. Slaughtered the enemy ship. But yes, so let's get into the door at the back. First thing you'll notice is there's a bit of a hangar at the back, and you can fly in there with the Kerbal, but there's a docking port, so you could fly a little ship into here and dock. Anyway though, this comes to me from Sam, and it is the Space Cruiser BD, and it's really cool. As you saw, it has a Well, BD is just because it has BD armory on it. It's just space cruiser. But yes, the cool thing about it is more that it has an actual internal structure. It's got the little conference room down here, which we saw during the attack. And then up here it's got a bit of a flight deck. You can see all of that. There's a bunch of seats with windows. And there are some cockpits, obviously for holding Kerbals. One at the back for the hangar we just saw. And as we move through, you'll see that there's a big crew container down here where all the Kerbals live. And a little cockpit here for, I guess, control. And then there's also a little... No, these are doors, I guess, actually. This would be a lift. So all the Kerbals live in this little crew container. And they come out of their... you know, let's just do this rather than talking about it. So they'll get out of the little crew container, be in the conference room, be like, oh, this is nice, but I gotta go up to the flight deck. So I'm just gonna... Well, there's no artificial gravity yet, so yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go up to my flight deck, get into the elevator, and then board. Can't board a full module. Oh, right. Yes. Well, you sit in the seat. But say she had gotten the elevator, then she'd be in this little thing, and say that any of these were at... No, there's someone at every one of them. So yeah, and then basically what I mean is you get in there, transfer up here. And then you can get out, and now you're on the top deck, the flight deck, I guess. There's seats all around with little screens or windows, I guess. And then down here, I think there's actually a bridge. I'm not sure if I can access it this way, but we'll give it a shot. So fly through here. There should be a bridge. I know there are some seats for Kerbals in the front. It's here. But maybe there isn't a way to get into here. Then how would I get my Kerbals in the seats? Huh. Alright. Okay, well I'm just gonna ram through! Okay, well there is a bridge up there for Kerbals to sit on, but you get the point. It has a really cool internal system, a very maneuverable internal system, which I can walk through and do cool stuff. So we're gonna seat the Kerbal in the seat, and yeah. And of course it is armed. You saw it in the battle dispatch one of its missiles. It has stock missiles. It has 2 howitzers, which weren't working particularly well, and some chain guns. The stock missiles, I have to say, they're not super effective. So you can open up these 2 cargo bays and you have 2 stock sort of guided missiles. So we decouple them. But there's no SAS unit on there, so the only control they have is... I don't think this probe provides any torque, does it? Because... no, it doesn't. So, yeah, the only control it has is its engine gimbal, which isn't super great. You can see I'm having trouble controlling it, and this weighs it down quite a lot, so it will naturally turn one way, which isn't super great. So, missiles, not the most effective, but it made it up for it with its chain guns. I'm annoyed that I was aiming at at a missile, not the ship, in the first fight, because I would have got it otherwise, but, well, this won anyway, so it's cool. And you can see it's pretty tough. It's got lots of layers. It's got this kind of fuel tanks and missile bays on the outside, which make it pretty tough against gunfire, well, missile fire. And then it's just got a few layers, and you probably won't get into the conference room very easily. But yeah, I just really like this. It's, well, the whole thing is stock except for the guns. And I love getting space cruisers. And with Kerbal Wars coming up, well, not Kerbal Wars, Kerbal Rising coming up, I thought, you know what? It would be really cool to take a look at some of this stuff today. So yeah, there's no one control. We should control from you because you're looking forward. Control from here. Perfect. And yeah, it has 4 nuclear engines. It doesn't have a great thrust to weight ratio, but yeah, it's pretty nice. I really, you need to use SAS so they will go up. Okay, well, that's not true. Thank God. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really nice looking ship. I really like how it looks. If you look at the front, if I turn it around, I'll turn these engines off as well. You can see how it looks from the front, and I think it looks really nice. It's got the big window at the front. It almost looks kind of, not really Futurama, but the front kind of reminds me a little bit, for some reason, of the Futurama ship. Maybe I'm thinking of a different ship, but you can maybe see my point. I haven't watched Futurama in a while. Anyway, but it looks really cool. It does have its 2 howitzers here. Guns do work weirdly in space in KSP, because they seem to fire all of their bullets sideways. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, anyway, that's about it for this ship. I think it's really cool, and yeah, thank you to Sam for sending it to me. And now let's take a look at the Damocles from Ben. Now the other interesting thing about this battleship, the other ship from the battle, is that it can actually launch on a real rocket. It came to me on a real rocket, and it is fully stock. It had no chain gun, so it was a little bit disadvantaged, and as it was actually had some of its parts stripped away because it's quite a big ship and I needed there to be not too much lag. But I'll explain that more later when we can actually see the ship. But for now, you can see this giant rocket it launches on. Actually not too big considering the payload. We drop away the boosters now, and the big core stage pushes us on into orbit. We're going pretty steeply because the rocket had some pretty big fins, so it was hard to turn over. But yeah, I was very impressed that this could launch on a real stock rocket, and, well, do quite an impressive job, actually. I haven't seen anything like this launched on a real rocket for a while. I did used to launch for very big ships on very big rockets when I was used to do some stock space battle-y things, and I know Macy Dean always did that. But anyway, so yeah, we'll use the second stage, and this easily gets into orbit even with an idiot flying it, and it's really cool. The ship does look much smaller when it's on top of a rocket, though, but still, all of this is quite impressive. And yes, now we're just getting up to orbital velocity over the ocean. It would be rather bad if this fell back into the atmosphere, although it might be fun to see it burn up. I do like burning up big ships. I did once burn up a 2-kilometer long space station, which, if you haven't seen that video, go see it. I also somehow achieved the speed of light. Anyway, let's hand you back over to past me to take a look at the ship in depth. Okay, so after the launch, you are back with live commentary me to take a look at this wonderful ship. This, like I said, came to me from Ben. And it's really cool. Now, in the actual battle, it was a little bit stripped down. It wasn't the full version, because this is quite a lot of parts. I think without the rocket, it's still like 732 parts. So I took a few things off, including some of the missiles. So it was actually disadvantaged in the battle and still did quite a lot of damage. So what you were seeing it firing were these missiles, these little solid rocket booster missiles, which can be fired in fours very quickly, very just easily. But I did remove the guided missiles because I didn't think I would really get a chance to use them very well. However, I reckon if it had them when I had used them, it may have beaten the cruiser, but it doesn't matter too much. It's not much of a contest. It was just a fun little cinematic thing. But yes, this is the DD-07 Damocles, and it's well, it's a space warship. It doesn't really say what class, but I guess sort of maybe a missile destroyer or a torpedo destroyer, something like that. So let's take a look at it. Let's start at the back with its engines. It has 6 nuclear engines for efficient travel, for going from place to place. But if it really needs to move, it actually has a vector engine for just firing up, kicking it up to like a G of acceleration, and just moving very quickly. Kind of expansy, except with a slightly lower G count. But yeah, pretty good. It also has a bunch of RCS, which was also removed in the fight, since that would be more parts. And yeah, it has these radiators for cooling down, also removed in the fight. It was pretty much stripped down to just being the core ship with missiles at the front, really, to keep part counts down. But yes, so you can see it now. It has its solar panels on the side. I don't think there's much on the inside. I think it's all just fuel and batteries and stuff. The bridge is here. Tucked into the top, we've got a little Kerbal up here, one-man ship. Oh, it's more than one man, but whatever. So you can see right down the bow there, down the deck, I guess. And then there's also a lander can back here. I think that's probably just for getting in and out. I don't think this is like a heavily crewed ship. But yeah, obviously the coolest thing is are the missiles. So the missiles you saw in the fight were these. Go! It does explode quite a lot of stuff, but they're obscenely fast. They're the fastest missiles I think I've ever seen. It's probably just because I think each of them has 8 solid rocket boosters on them. But you can see the composition of these missiles is obviously the 8 solid rocket boosters. And then the beams, these kind of I-beams that I see used a lot. So if we fire some more, they seem to do the most damage when they hit things. The spinning also helps to keep it straight, just because when you spin a projectile, any sort of like roll or turn or anything is induced in all directions equally, so it doesn't go off course. And these are ridiculously accurate. They could hit that space cruiser from a kilometer away within like a second. You can see how fast they move. They're obscenely fast. They're just some great missiles. I was really impressed by that, and it made getting the first shot very difficult because I had to fire the missiles, have about a second, and then switch to the ship, get in position, and then take the shot. So yeah, I'm very impressed by that. I think they're really, really well done. The guided missiles I haven't played with that much, but they're the same kind of projectile, same kind of warhead even, but a different projectile. They're of course guided, so I can decouple the node, and then hopefully switch to them. Yes, here we go. Fire up the engines. So we'll get the missile out and take a good look at it, and then maybe do a bit of suicide with it. And it actually has thrusters, which is so useful for missile aiming. These are actually really nice. We'll keep that activated. We'll activate all 4 engines. So yeah, these are probably less powerful because they have much less thrust. But obviously you can guide them. They're very well controlling. If the cruiser had had a couple of these instead of the ones it had, it would have done a lot of damage. And the warhead on this actually looks pretty intense. The other ones, I believe, were just the I-beam, which is quite good because it's a very hard piece of metal and quite pointy, and seems to do a lot of damage when attached to stock missiles in KSP. And I guess the ore is just for a massive amount of weight. It has, of course, its fuel, some RCS, battery, everything. So yeah, let's get a little away from this ship and test it out. This is really, the other ship was very kind of nice and sort of cinematic with its decks, but its weapons, I mean, it did have BD armory weapons, but its weapons, you know, they were nothing to brag about. They were good. It was a beautiful ship, and it won, I guess, because it had chain guns, and I took away this guy's kind of war-headed missiles, which I kind of wish I hadn't done now because they're really cool. But this is really just a really amazing kind of set of weapons, really. So let's get up to full speed and see how much damage this does if it does hit. So let's get up to about, yeah, we'll just keep throttling. Fuck it, let's just destroy this. And boom! Right down the deck of the ship. Rips off. You know what? Actually, it looks like it stood up pretty well to that. That's impressive. I don't know if that means the missile's really bad, or if doesn't look like there's a ton of damage. I think it was aiming for here, so it hit it right down the deck. But yeah, minimal damage. Let's try again, aiming for somewhere slightly different. And yeah. Okay, let's go and do some damage. But yeah, it seems like stock weapons technology in KSP has actually come quite a long way since just putting nose cones on things. And, ooh, that's a good hit, actually. Did that do any damage? Actually, it doesn't look like it did. It hit it right in the metal. This is a very resistant ship, I have to say. Maybe if I hit it in the wings. Anyway, I'm having too much fun. I've got to make a video here. I've got to stop. Alright, let's walk around in the daytime so we can see the ship. See if it did do any damage. But I think if it's going to hit these metal panels, it's going to be okay. The only way to really destroy that kind of thing is with a giant solid rocket booster. But yeah, like I was saying, it seems whenever I get sent stock weapons ships, they always have increasingly impressive missiles. These, of course, with quite a complicated and well-designed warhead. And they all seem to usually have these pylons on them now, which seems to do the most damage. These I-beams, even. Anyway, so this is quite the resistant ship. I am going to take one more shot at it, though, because I really, really want to destroy this. Just because, well, I want to see if the missiles work when they hit softer things, like these wing connectors. Because so far they've just been hitting metal, and it doesn't look like anything's been damaged, because the metal is quite strong. I'm sure little bits have been coming off, as tends to happen. That's a loud, high-pitched noise. I'm sorry, I hope that's not in the video, but yeah, I just noticed it. Alright, okay. Okay. Alright, sorry, I think maybe like a blender or a terrible flute is going off. Okay, so let's fire the missile. Forget about whatever the hell that was. And try and... Ooh, it looks like it is going for metal again, but right in the side! Will it do the damage? No, it's just kind of skewered. I have to say, actually, these missiles are not super effective. It is wedged in there, though. Okay. And now I could just, like, spin it around to death. Yeah, maybe that's what it's supposed to do. Skewer the ship, and then just, like, spin it to death. No, not so much. Oh, looks like I've damaged a missile, though. Yes, fuck yeah, damaged the weapon systems. Oh, it is so much fun, but I must stop just playing with this ship now. But yeah, thank you so much to Ben. The ship looks kind of angular and mean as well. I haven't really talked about the ship. I've been obsessed with the weapons, but it's, you know, it's not as pretty as the other cruiser we got. But it's, you know, it's angular and mean, and it just looks like a thing that was like let's put a bunch of missiles and build a ship around it, you know? And the missiles are really cool. These ones that have gone now, so fast, really impressive. And these ones, kind of fun. Don't seem to do much damage to metal, but if I'd hit maybe some of the wings, they would have. And I hope you yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the battle at the front, at the front of the video, at the start of the video. And I hope you enjoyed my messing around with all this stuff. I love getting these kind of things. But if you're planning on building spaceships now, I guess you should really be submitting them to Kerbal Kerbal Rising. I will one day get that right first time. Which is, yeah, my new upcoming series with Penguin, which will be space battles all the time, but with BD armory and nukes and ray guns and shit. What are they really called? Rail guns? Yeah, lame. Ray guns. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, but I think if you haven't seen that video from a few days ago, go check it out. You'll be like, oh shit, I can build ships to be in one of yours and Penguin series. But also keep stuff coming for subscriber designs. Really, I need you to ramp up your building effort. This is going to be a full-time job for you now. Kidding. But anyway, thank you to Ben and Sam? I want to say Sam? Check the email. Yeah, thanks to Ben and Sam. These ships were so fun for doing a battle and just really fun to look at. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you next time.